This past summer, 15 youth gathered at a rustic resort in the Rocky Mountains. They came from Colorado, Utah, and Idaho for a special brand of summer camp. Their focus? Learning practical ways to build spiritual community.
So we're actually learning how we can host devotionals to create a spiritual community with the adults, while also having children's classes within our neighborhood as well as junior youth groups to help build those spiritual qualities in the kids.
The group of youth that are here are absolutely outstanding. If they are the ones into whose hands we are turning over this big wide world, the next generation will be in good hands because they're absolutely outstanding people.
Everyone is so close. I don't know. I just love being out here. It really is just a great experience.
The camp focused on the study courses from the Ruhi Institute. It's a training series that helps participants translate the teachings of the Baha'i faith into action.
We're very strongly hoping that the outcome will be each one of them, either individually or with another friend, will start a class of their own in their own home or in their neighborhood.
For the teens, studying wasn't a matter of simply hitting the books. Twice during their retreat, the youth traveled to the nearby town of Fort Collins, Colorado, to actually practice teaching children's classes. The Baha'is of Fort Collins have been cultivating community spirit in 2 different neighborhoods for the past 2 years. The first neighborhood the youth visited was Timber Ridge.
I'd say it's more of a lower income area. There's a lot of kids in the community, and so I think that ends up bringing a lot of us together.
Timber Ridge became familiar to the Baha'is when a Baha'i who lived there suggested they might find families interested in building spiritual community together. That was 2 years ago. Since then, a small band of Baha'is have made Timber Ridge their second home.
Some of the people that asked us, do you live here in the Timber Ridge? And when we told them that no, we thought that you were living here. And so they really felt that we were a part of the Timber Ridge.
Activities for young people form the centerpiece of the community building efforts in this neighborhood.
A typical Tuesday out at Timber Ridge, we start around 3:30 gathering the children. We used to have to do that. Now they're coming to us. They're usually there waiting for us to begin.
Children split off into 2 classes, one for ages 5 to 7 and another for ages 8 to 11. Meanwhile, preteens meet up for a junior youth group where they talk about spiritual matters and plan service projects for the neighborhood. The Timber Ridge activities provided the visiting youth with an opportunity to gain real experience in the classroom.
We actually had the chance to go and instruct, basically lead, the class, so it was really cool.
And it was just such an amazing experience. I loved all the children. Like, in the book it says that they're not just children you're required to teach, it says that you're gonna get close to them. But I had no idea that would be on the first day that you would feel so close to them.
We kind of, all the participants kind of played a whole bunch of different parts. I did read the story. I was also instructing them on memorization of the quotation for the day.
I helped them with the songs and memorizing one of the prayers.
And then we also helped them with the art project, which was making pinwheels. The theme of the lesson was truthfulness and sincerity.
Manifest our truthfulness and sincerity.
Very nice. You guys think you know what sincere means now? No idea.
A word like sincerity might be unfamiliar to children, but the training helped the youth convey the theme in a meaningful way.
Truthful and to follow through with what you say. Well, in all the books with the lessons, it actually does come with an explanation and some examples of how you can describe these words that they wouldn't know.
And we use concrete examples about how, John promised his parents that he would do his homework assignments, and then when he gets home every day, he comes home and does his homework assignments. So he was sincere in his promise.
The lesson for the day included a cooperative game that further illustrated the theme of truthfulness and sincerity.
We played the game hot and cold, and so like you hide an object and then the kid that was out of the room previously has to find it by whether you're saying, oh, you're getting warmer or you're getting colder. When they're getting close to an object, if you say colder, then you're not being truthful. And then the game is just, it's not fun anymore if you're not being truthful and sincere.
Timber Ridge has offered learning opportunities to many. Both the Baha'is and the local residents are learning together how to cultivate a service-oriented community, how to collaborate, and how to encourage one another. Mothers, in particular, seem to be drawn to this community-building process. Renee Rogers is one of them.
Actually, my husband and my son and I were on our way home from grocery shopping, and we had just pulled into the driveway, and a couple of the Baha'i community members walked up to the driveway, and they were like, hey, can we tell you a little bit about the Baha'is and the Baha'i faith, and I had never heard of it at all before. We ended up sitting on my lawn for like almost 2 hours talking. So I was like, this totally speaks a truth to me that I know in my heart. There's a stigma that's involved with, religions going door to door. But I think that because they're so involved in the community, it's not just like a canvassing thing, which tends to happen, but they have a presence here that it makes it a little bit easier and makes people more open to it. Like, they don't necessarily have to go to someone's door for someone to walk through the park and see the activities going on and be interested in it and see everybody having fun and enjoying themselves and wonder, well, what's that all about,
Simca Ehrlich's connection to the Baha'i faith began in a similar fashion.
I lived in this area for about a good year or two, and within the first few months I was here, I was actually approached by Peggy and Kashi. And the more I learned about it, the more I got interested.
And one of the things I asked her, I said, Simca, what would you like to do in your life? And she said, I would love to teach children. And I said, oh, I can't think of a better thing to do, and something that I think help you with. So that was the goal, that I come back and we train to do children's classes together.
Most weeks, Simca assists in teaching the 5 to 7-year-olds. She has toddlers of her own who are too young to attend the class. But she hopes they grow to appreciate spirituality and the concept of community.
I hope that through the teachings here, they learn that it's not about who has this or that. It's more about the virtues that they hold in themselves.
2 days after their practice in Timber Ridge, the youth ventured across town to a different kind of neighborhood. Rigdon Farms looks like a lot of emerging American communities. New houses, townhomes, construction sites, and retail shops are cropping up on this former farm. Local resident Jessica Kerr spent the last 2 years inviting her neighbors to join her in building community. Already she's partnered with the local senior center for weekly interfaith devotions. She's hosted study groups to support neighborhood mothers in enhancing the spiritual education in their own home, and provided children's classes and formed a junior youth group.
My goal is to really just bring unity to the neighborhood through service. It's been 2 years solid that things have been going on, and have been gradually increased. And it's just now that I'm hearing like neighbors saying they've been watching and they like what's happening.
Jessica's calendar fills up with community activities every week. The Cornerstone event happens on Thursday evenings at the community barn. She calls it Terrific Thursdays.
So every Thursday we have a children's class, like at 4 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock we have a spaghetti social. And we just invite everyone and anyone to come to the spaghetti social.
Baha'is who live nearby pitch in to make a hospitable environment for Terrific Thursdays. Some bring the noodles and the sauce, while others cook or socialize with neighbors. After the class and the spaghetti, Baha'is, their neighbors, and the visiting youth worked together on an art project.
We had magazines, and we had all the friends here, children, all the way to the youth and to the adults, cutting out images that represented what a spiritual neighborhood meant to them. And we put it all together on a big piece of paper, and we just got to build that. And I think it was very symbolic, and I think they really had a great time.